Hey guys, welcome to Youth Sunday School. We're moving on in Lent, and I wanted to take a little time today. It won't be as long of a Sunday school lesson, but to talk about Lent and to talk about growth and why is growth important. So, when we think about why we do Lent, we think about giving things up, and we often might ask ourselves, how does giving things up relate to growth? I don't understand how those could be conducive to one another. But sometimes we have to give things up in order to grow because they actually limit our ability to grow if we hold on to things too long. So I'm out here in my garage, in my car, to give an example of that. So behind me, you'll see two car seats. One of them's a base for a little car seat for an infant. We got it in the car so that we're ready for when our son comes soon. But there's also a new car seat right here for Nora. And she had a car seat that was sort of an in-between car seat. It was for, you could put an infant in it, but it wasn't as good for infants. But you could put a bigger kid in it. But it got to the point where it was confining. It was hard for her to get in it. She kind of didn't have as much room. She kind of sat in hunched like this. And so we decided it was time to get her one that will be more like a booster seat. And that's what I wanted to talk about with Lent, is that we have to sometimes give things up, even though it's familiar and we know it and we like it, in order to grow in a way that's healthy for us. And so just like we had to get a new car seat, and it's different, and it's actually bigger, but it has more room, and she can move her arms around and look around and be her own self in the seat. She can have her more freedom. We too give things up sometimes because they actually hold us back. So I hope that during Lent, you're finding things in your life that are actually taking time away from what's really important, that are holding you back from growing. Because sometimes there's things, there's people, there's relationships, there's items, there's just time. There's things that we give our time to that take up our time, but that really just hold us back from growing. And then we never are able to really stretch out and become ourselves. So I hope that you're finding ways to give things up during Lent safely, of course, that hold you back. Obviously, you have to be careful and discerning about what it is that you have and what you're giving up. You have to make sure it's something that you can give up now, because sometimes we want to give something up and it's not the right time. It's too soon, we're not ready, or it's not safe for us to give something up, right? So a couple examples of that. Okay, I wouldn't want to give up seat belts for Lent. Like, they keep us safe. It wouldn't make sense for me to give up my seat belt for Lent. But also, it wouldn't be safe for me or for you to say, give up my house for Lent. We can do what we can to try and understand other people and to help ourselves grow, but when it's cold and things, if we have the ability to have shelter, it would be better to let somebody else stay with us than it would be to just give up our space. So you have to find that balance of making sure that what you give up is something that we can give up realistically at this point in a way that's safe for us. I wouldn't want to give up my insulin that I need for my diabetes just because I'm like, for Lent, I'll give that up. So use our discernment as well in what we give up. So I hope that this week you take some chances to grow. Maybe you probably don't need a car seat anymore, but like in a metaphorical sense, in a spiritual sense, maybe you can find yourself in a booster seat instead of a car seat, with more room to be who you are and more room still to grow, because we always have room to grow. Have a great week.